Welcome to lesson 223, percents that are greater than 100 and percents that are less than 1. So first I want you to take a look at what it means to be a percent that is less than 1. So if you take a look at 75 hundredths percent, it's very different than 74%. It's this small little sliver right here, and 25 hundredths percent is this small little sliver right here, and here's 25%. So when you're looking at percentages that are less than 1, over here you'll see that this is 1%. And then this red one next to it is the 25 hundredths percent. So I know that we talk about moving our decimals 2 places to the right. So for this one, as a decimal, it actually looked like this. So we move it 2 places to the left. So 1, 2. So it's got 2 zeros in front of it between the 2 and the decimal. This is possible. We don't typically work with percentages like this very often. However, we have to get used to seeing them. All right, so when you're taking a look at percentages, when you change a percent to a decimal, you always move it 2 places to the left. So we move the decimal 2 places to the left. When we do that, we end up with 2 zeros between the number and the decimal, which is okay. And then we end up with it in the 10,000ths place. Now these numbers can end up anywhere. Right? So when we change it to a decimal, it looks like this originally. And then to find out what it looks like as a fraction, we have to figure out our denominator, which in this case is the 10,000ths. So this would be 46 10,000ths. Right, so what I'd like you to do for the next two, I'd like you to try these two on your own. And when you come back, we'll take a look at your answer. Alright, so you should have changed it and ended up with a decimal that looks like this. So 2 zeros between the decimal and the 6. And then as a fraction, it is 65 10,000ths. And then 5/10 percent, again, is now going to have 3 zeros because there's a 0 here. And then there's 2 zeros between that original 0 and the new decimal place. Again, it ends in the 10,000ths, so this is 5/10,000ths. Right, so these are the problems I would like you to try on your own tonight. But do not stop here, because now we're going to move on to percents greater than 100. So typically we just work with 100%. But if you think about those tests or quizzes where you're able to get extra credit and you get that 102%, that means you got the entire test right, and then you actually got another 2 pieces out of another 100 correct. So it's kind of like a bonus. So in this case, if this is your sales, if this is 100% of your sales, and this month you made 100% of your sales plus an extra 25%, that means you made 125%. So changing these to decimals and fractions is much the same. You move the decimal 2 places to the right or left. And then now your decimal is going to have a whole number in front because you have one whole group, and then you have 46 hundredths. So you should have a whole number, a decimal, and then your numbers after your decimal. So when you have percentages that are greater than 100, you're going to have a whole number and you're going to have that decimal, so you're going to have a mixed number as a fraction. So you're going to have 1 and 46 hundredths as your fraction. So what this means is if you get a 146%, that means you got 100% of the questions right, and then another 46 out of 100 correct. And then these 46 out of 100 that were here are bonus, they're extras. Right, so I want you to try these two, 165% and 105%, and when you come back, we'll check your answers. Alright, so as a decimal, you would have 1 and 65 hundredths, which is the same thing for your mixed number. For this one, you would have 1 and 5 hundredths. And then you'd have the same thing for your mixed number. Now, here you can also simplify these, so this would actually be 1 and 23 fiftieths. This could be 1 and 13 twentieths. And this could be 1 and 1 20th. Alright, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to try these last 3 converting these last three on your own. And if you have any questions, you can post them to Edmodo. And when you come to class tomorrow, we're going to talk about using these percentages.